Hello, my name is Lev Nilik, and the recording you're watching is about the elections, local elections in Israel. That's not the general elections where the president and the Knesset are elected, but local elections in the local municipalities, in the cities. In my example, I live in Beersheba. So my American and Anglos and Canadian English-speaking friends asked me to tell them a little bit more details. How do Israeli elections work? My American friends, even in Israel, not exactly clear how the local elections work. And be frank with you, not all Israelis actually know how local elections work, but local elections are important. So in Beersheba, for example, where I live, elections are held October 31st, 2023, which is end of this month. Today is October 5th, 2023. And the way elections work is people come and vote for a mayor of the city. Currently, it's Ruvik Danilovich is a current mayor, and for the city council. The position of city council, it's not a government position, not a government job. It's basically voluntarily non-paid position. Currently in Beersheba Council, I believe like 27 people. And and every 5 years, there's a local elections. And if the person wants to run for a position of the council, a council in the Beersheba Council, he can run it on his own and represent himself or herself. Or more commonly, he can represent a group of people, in which case essentially becomes a party. We all know in Israel there's a bunch of parties, not like America, Democrats and Republicans and maybe independent. In Israel, you can have 20, 30 parties, and they change and merge and create blocks, dissolve, shuffle, a lot of political activities going on. Some of it's fun, some of it's expensive, some of it's probably unnecessary. But be as it may, it makes life interesting. So, a little bit about me. I was born in Russia. I speak fluent Russian. Я говорю свободно на русском языке. And I'm going to make a recording also in Russian language for my Russian friends. I have a family in Israel. I have a family in America. And I'm an engineer. At the age of 25, I immigrated from Russia. Actually, technically, it's Ukraine, near Odessa. I grew up. I immigrated to America, and I spent 37 years in America. I am married. I have 3 children and 6 grandchildren. The children and grandchildren are in America. Hopefully, they'll make Aliyah and join my wife and I here in Israel. Whether they be in Beersheba or some other places, we don't know for sure, but hopefully they'll come, and if they decide to live here by us, we'll be blessed and very, very happy. 6 years ago, almost 7 now, my wife and I made Aliyah to Israel. We live in Beersheba, and I'm an engineer. To demonstrate that, here's my pumping machinery hat. I work with pumps. I worked 40 some years with pumps. I'm a world pump expert, at least so they say. I published several books. And now I decided to run to become a politician, if you will, but not a real politician. I want to be in a council in Beersheba. At the semi-retired age, I have some extra time that I want to use to help. And basically, my platform, so to speak, was very simple. As you know, politicians oftentimes promise the world, and when they elected, they delivered nothing. So I didn't promise the world. My agenda was just cleanliness. As you know, in Israel, cleanliness of the streets is not probably example for the world standard. It's not Singapore by any means. So we have done a lot of work. We organized in my community where I live in Beersheba, in Sunahei, near Gilboa, and we cleaned the place. We created volunteers. We created a WhatsApp group with 100 people. And despite this skeptical view, well, you cannot change anything in Beersheba, we did. And our place is a lot cleaner. I'm looking out the window, and much cleaner place than it used to be. So I want to expand and put that for the rest of the city. That's all my agenda. And my point is, if somebody is throwing the garbage bag near the garbage disposal and not right in it, which is not uncommon in Beersheba, unfortunately, 750 shekels fine. There is fines like that. The law exists, but unfortunately, municipality doesn't force it very much. We have bigger problems. Who cares? Second one, a lot of people own dogs, just like in America and other places. When the dogs poop, some people clean up after their dog and some don't. I would say more people don't. And that is not pleasant. First of all, it's not respecting environment, other people, and themselves. It also creates rats and flies and mice and whatnot, bacteria, not healthy. That is my platform. I want my voice to be heard if I'm elected on a council. And the way the elections work in Beersheba, there's 250,000 people, roughly. Roughly half of them, let's say 120,000 people, are eligible to vote. Of those 120, maybe half, perhaps 60 or 70,000 people actually vote. This is just a rough estimate, perhaps. And in order to become, to make it through the election process, a candidate has to get roughly 2,500, 3,000 votes. If the party has candidate representing himself and the followers, which becomes his party, my party will be Lamed Bet, Lev, as my name, Lev. So if a person represents the entire party, the party's second one has to get, second seat has to get another roughly 5,000 votes. For the third seat, you get maybe 10,000 votes. So it's progressively more difficult to get many people on the council. In Beersheba, typically the parties, so that's not the same parties as that run for general elections, although some of them participate as well. It's kind of a little bit confusing. So that was my agenda. So I was going to show you what my agenda looked like. I'll share the screen. Okay, screen is shared. So now I can show you my brochure. This was my brochure. And in this brochure, I had in English, Russian, and Hebrew, basically stating what I just mentioned. Clean Beersheba. Clean Beersheba. You can see dogs pooping and the garbage spread out. That is not something I don't want. So my platform will be appealing to a broad range of the audience, dati, religious, non-religious, right politically, left politically. Most people don't want to see Beersheba dirty. So I'm hoping that this will resonate with voters. But once I did it, I also got in contact with another party, and that's a symbol Tzadiyut. And that party is religious party, probably not entirely extreme right, so to speak, but if I would pull the scale 0 to 10 in the range of the religious direction, they probably +7 or +8, I would say. And this party, the platform of this party, basically here, I'll show you now, I'll share screen again, and I show you the, okay, here's a brochure. And you can see the very nice people here. One is Ashkenazi, another one is Sephardi, and they also have non-religious people. So they have a wide range of opinions and views, but religious content is significant. They're called Tzir Naaman, like your connection, our people's connection, I guess, loosely translated. Okay, so when we join, and in their party brochure, let's see if I find another space. They have many, approximately 15 or 16 points, and you can always freeze the screen and read it in greater details. Here, I'm gonna zoom for you and move it around a little bit. But to summarize it in a shorter way, just as I say, as religious people say, as long as a man can stand in one leg. So Okay, Tzadi Yud, Tzir Naaman, and Nahum Karelitz is a leader of the party. He essentially runs, and I and other people follow him, so to speak. And okay, let me just go through. Okay, so this is what I'm against: the garbage, to clean this place up. And this is my brochure combined now with Tzadi Yud, with Tzir Naaman. And you can see that in English, in Hebrew, in Russian, make Beersheba clean. That's basically my platform. Now, back to what is a platform for Tzir Naaman before I joined them. You can see a nice picture of dog in the toilet. That's actually in the Sheva newspaper. And okay, here, let's see. My platform. Here it is. That's the platform for Tzir Naaman before I joined them. And it's still the same as with me joining. And in Hebrew, English, and Russian, they're in favor of Jewish, basically for Jewish values, Jewish identity, tradition, Jewish values, and Jewish history, against New World Order. In other words, they're very clear that they don't believe that man can also be a woman, and the cat, and cats can marry goats, and two goats can marry five women. So those extremes, not to be critical about it, but that's actually something that I don't believe in, and they don't, and that they stand against. So if you very strongly opposing that point, then you will not vote for this party. But if you agree, then it will be party for you. And the third one, against perversions that the Torah prohibits. They're against teaching in class that he or she or it, sexual perversions in school. They're against it. They're basically for the standard Jewish values, the way the Torah, the way the Bible prescribes. Again, they're not, I wouldn't call it fanatical. They're not going to persecute people who do that. They understand that people have their preferences. They stand against them. So together with me and them, we are now under Tzadi Yud. So if you vote in Israeli elections, that will be the party that that I represent, that I am part of. Okay. What else can I say about these? That's relatively brief. Let me stop share the screen. Back to my pretty place. And also, we have a Zoom interaction, which is very interesting platform. This is Zoom coordinates, 325-804-5811, password 285-775. Those who are interested can freeze the screen and write it down. Again, my name is Lev Nelik, and that is a Zoom for the club that we have every Tuesday in English, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the evening, Israeli time, 1 o'clock US time. They call it the Perplexed Club. The objective of this club to meet together, most of us Jews in this session. It's not an absolute requirement, but it just so happens that I don't know if most, maybe not all, most people are Jewish there. From America, from Europe, from London, South Africa. So Anglo-speaking community. And we talk about positions, religious aspects, medical aspects, historical aspects, sometimes talk of sports. We talk about personal things, about kids, about the family. And there's a group of people who meet live on Zoom, and we also record sessions. And in the link I just gave you, we also, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, send me the note. How do you reach me? 050-865-0451. Again, 050-865-0451. Let me just write it down so I can show you. 050-865-0451. And if you're not in Israel, you will dial 972 in front of it and not use a zero. So it will be 972-50-865-0451. 0451. The one was missing. Now it's not. And this is not a debate club. We're not to show somebody else how wrong he is and not to show somebody how right I am. This is just to see another opposite view and understand the other view. But perhaps disagree somewhat or disagree significantly, but just respectfully understand what do you think about these issues. What do you think? Even we don't talk about politics very much, but every so often we do. What do you think what happens in America these days? What do you think what happens in Sweden these days or in Russia, the war in Ukraine? How do you see that? Without being emotional about it and take one side or the other, just present your view. That's the Perplex Club. And from there, my kind of political move kind of grew. And another co-founder of our The Perplex Club is David. He is Israeli, but with very good command of English. And he and I, kind of grandfathers of The Perplex Club. So hopefully it explained to you the position of Israeli elections. And once again, maybe I'll share screen one more time to show the what to vote in Beersheba. If you're in Beersheba, it's party at Sadi Yud, Tzir Naaman, and Lev Nelik. I am behind. This is our first guy, number one guy, Nahum Karelitz. I am in my own party, I will be number one. Of course, when you're by yourself, you're always number one. But when you're with other people, you become part of the group. But Nahum Karel is certainly the leader. And a very nice man, very educated man, very kind, funny, humorous, witty. And hopefully, if any questions, call me. And hopefully on October 31st, this year, 2023, you'll drop into the mailbox that Sadi Yud for the party that I am part of. Now I can say I created the block of parties. And then we're in the middle of Sukkot holidays. Tomorrow is Hoshana Rabbah, the last day of Sukkot, followed by on Saturday, on Shabbat, coming with Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret, and gives me opportunity to wish you all, regardless of your political, religious affiliation, a happy new year, much health, much happiness with the family, with your friends, with your work, with your business, with your fun, with your vacations, whatever you do, be good and make Beersheba clean again and make your city clean again and try to contribute the best you can to make this world a better, I didn't want to say the warmer place because now we can open up discussion on global warming or global cooling. Make it a better place. What means better? It's an interesting question too. To everyone, to somebody, what's better to one person may not sound too good to another person, but that's a matter of a discussion, and that's how Perplex Club is all about. But I personally believe that most people, probably 90% of people in the world, understand the basic human values and agree on that. And all the debates and arguments and fighting comes in probably not because they're so diametrically opposed to each other, but because inability to come across, to listen to the guy or the gal and understand what they're saying. And once that process is in place, understanding follows by appreciation, appreciation follows by love, and love follows by harmony and peace. And with that, peace to everybody. Shabbat Shalom.